It's Mary Ann Rennie. I'm the Minister of Dunfermline Abbey. I am doing a wee series of all of the different things that you can find in the Abbey when you're wandering about. And today I'm doing this with the help of Mary Welsh, who is our beadle, our church officer, and who for a long time was one of the custodians. She has put together bits and pieces for me to say and to think about as we're wandering around the building. Last week I had a wee look at the Tiffany window, and today I'm in an unusual place because this is actually my spot on a Sunday, briefly each week. Not been for a few weeks, I have to say. I've not been up the stairs here. This is probably the best view in the building of what I'm going to show you. It's a view that not many people will have, and visiting preachers get it occasionally. I let other folk up into the pulpit. The other view that you can get of what I'm about to show you is usually from the gallery, but the lower part of this window is often not able to be seen because of the way the chandelier works. The chandelier is above my head here, just here. And so that often blocks out your ability to see the window. So I'm about to turn you round, so excuse me while I switch you round, and you'll see the right view rather than just me. So I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to show you the McLaren window all the way up. It's obviously not an absolutely perfect view of this if I were to turn it all the way up. And at the end of this I'll take I'll maybe do a wee short video of this in portrait as well, so you get to see it. So this is the McLaren window. Excuse me while I just get my bits and pieces that Mary has given me. So she has said that the McLaren window is at the east end of the church, and it was designed by Sir Noel Paton and was his last commission before he died in 1901. So this was in here in 1904. It was completed by Ballantyne and Gardner of Edinburgh at a cost of £2,500 and commemorates the lives of William and John McLaren. The McLaren family owned a draper's shop in Bridge Street from Victorian times, providing school uniforms to generations of Dunfermline's school children. And William McLaren was a great benefactor, providing funds in addition to this window. So he provided other things. So he'd reseated the Abbey Church from box pews to the current bench pews, and that happened in around about 1800. I'm just going to turn round so you can have a wee look. Yeah, these are apparently our new pews. Excuse the television studio in the middle of the church, but these pews didn't go in until 1900. There were other pews here when this part of the building opened in 1821. So these are in Abbey terms, a relatively new addition. So I'm going to wander back round here, up, have a wee look at this. The Abbey Church Hall, which is where I have been this morning, the Abbey Church Hall was also one of the things that William McLaren provided, and he donated the land and an endowment for the erection of the building. And then members of St Leonard's Church will know that he was responsible for the help to pay towards the building of St Leonard's Church. This lower part of the window depicts the Last Supper, and the upper part of the window shows angels announcing that Christ has risen. The small panes, or the light panes at the very, very top of the window, up there, show to the left olive trees and to the right grapevines. The letters representing Alpha and Omega can be seen clearly in red over bales of wheat. And I think you can just see them if you look above the angels' heads. They're just in those two smaller panels above the angels' heads. It's maybe not particularly clear, but you can maybe see them. Although this window was a gift to the Abbey Church, it said that it came with a condition, The condition was that the faces of the two brothers had to be shown in the window. This was agreed, and no one was allowed to write down which two faces was theirs, although we always had our suspicions, but it was quite frustrating because we weren't sure. About 10 years ago, a lady from New Zealand, who was a member of the McLaren family, came to visit the Abbey, and she was able to confirm which figures were the brothers. And if you look in this lower panel here, the two brothers are on the... So the first one is on the left-hand side, and he is the young man with his hands clasped. And that there is John McLaren. And the other brother is on the right-hand side in the second panel in. And there again you can see a young man with his hands clasped. And that is William McLaren. You'll note that they are both painted in their prime as handsome young men. There's another figure in this group at the bottom here, and that's the figure of Judas. He's got quite a sour expression. He's just here in the second panel in. Oop. Now, Mary likes to describe him as being scunnered. You'll have to excuse me, I'm going to have to just kneel down for a minute, so you're going to get a view of my seat. So here's my chair. Oh, enjoy my chair. Another wee, oh, that's my finger you're enjoying. This is the back of the pulpit. You'll enjoy that. I'll just get this wee bit of paper as well. It's always the same when you're doing these things live. They all decide to go to pot occasionally. I was just about to dial an ambulance for myself there, it would appear, but it's okay, I'm fine. I did just drop my paper and I am still here. So this man, Judas, here at the bottom, the local story is that, if you can see, he looks quite sour and he's looking not very cheerful. And Mary says to American visitors that he's scunnered, which is a very Scottish word, and for those of you who are not from Scotland, you'll need to ask about that word, but he's scunnered. And the local story is that the window was near completion and that less money than was expected to be paid for was paid. And so the artist painted Judas's face to show what he thought about it. There's been some interesting debates between visitors whether Judas should or should not have been painted with a halo, and I think that's an interesting theological discussion that many people have had over the weeks when we think about Easter. Some say he was, after all, a disciple, and others that he had his bag of silver, so he didn't deserve a halo. I think as we sit in these post-Easter weeks, we all wonder ourselves how we might have behaved in those weeks running up to the resurrection, in the days before the crucifixion. The upper 6 panels of the window, so back up there, depict the resurrection and have also raised some comments over the years. The angels are saying he is not here, for he is risen, and that would be customary to point to the earth to show that he's not here, and then to point to the heavens to indicate that Jesus has risen. But the angels in our window point the other way around, and I'm just looking to see how well you can see this. So the angel on the left-hand side is above the he is not here, and you can see that angel is pointing up to the sky, while the angel on the right-hand side is above the words, for he is risen, and our angel points downwards. They're the wrong way round. Are they the wrong way round? They're the wrong way round in terms of the saying, but it might be that in a place where you want to suggest that God is perfect, perhaps this is about human failing and that sometimes we get things wrong, and in a church building not everything can be perfect. That goes for ministers as well as windows. Of course, it's a beautiful window, and it's one that is particularly important to this congregation. I'll come back to that in a wee minute, but Noel Payton's original 12 drawings disappeared. And then Glasgow art lover Ronnie Bridges discovered 9 of them in a Lancaster stained glass factory being used to wrap other pieces of stained glass. In 1999, Mr. Bridges decided to sell the drawings, which prompted offers as far afield as the United States of America. Dunfermline District Council, along with Carnegie Trust and Ranald Noel Paton, raised the required money of £20,000, and the drawings were displayed at an exhibition to mark the visit of the Very Reverend Dr. David Lacey, moderator of the General Assembly, to Dunfermline in 2006. Some people might even notice when they go across to the revamped library and gallery that you can see small clips of designs of this used around the building. So I said I would come back to why this window, I think, seems quite significant to the congregation. I think from the pew, it is perhaps the thing that you see the most of. It's certainly the first thing you see as you come in our west door. And so you can't not notice it. And one of the wonderful things about when you sit in the pew is that there's nobody on this side of the table in the window, and so quite clearly in this gap, that's the space for us to draw near. And so for congregation members, there's an element of always being at the Lord's table here in this building. My hands are very shaky today. An element of always being at the Lord's table here in this building. And even when we're at communion, we are able to recognise, because of the window, that we participate in a meal that has gone on for centuries and generations, and that we commune with all of the saints in heaven and on earth. So it's quite an inviting window. It draws you in to celebrate your faith. I suppose it's quite inviting as well because it's circular. It doesn't stop where the walls are, instead it extends beyond. And so whoever is in this room knows that our communion table, our congregation, our community of faith extends beyond this place. And perhaps that's a lovely place to finish, because while we are not able to hear, perhaps this bottom part of the window reminds us that our congregation extends beyond the walls of this building, and wherever we are gathered at this table. We don't have to be sitting in front of this window to remember that. We can just be where we are and remember that Jesus' table is open and welcome and waiting for us all to take our place. So today, that's the McLaren window. I'll, without my shaky hands, maybe just show you up again. That's up to the top of the McLaren window, up to the very, very top, and back down again. I'm not sure what Mary will give me next week, but I'm looking forward to it. See you soon. Bye.